Alright, what's up everybody, it's Kami and welcome back to another weekly JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Vento Aureo Anime episode review. Today we had episode 3, Meet the Gangster Behind the Wall, and we met one of the more weird looking characters in the series, definitely one of the bizarre guys, and that would be Pulpo. So the episode starts off with a small recap of episode 2 where we've got Giorno talking to Bruno and stuff about wanting to join the gang, and then the episode actually starts with Bruno walking with Giorno towards a prison where he tells Giorno that he's going to meet Pulpo so that he can join Passion. So Giorno goes inside of the prison and guards do a search on him and stuff, tell him that he can't have anything with him when he goes inside, and then he has 15 minutes to talk to Pulpo. So then Giorno makes his way down to Pulpo's cell, and then Pulpo kind of just lifts himself up off the ground. He looked like a bed at first, but he ended up being a person because he's just huge. Like Pulpo he's a big fella. So Pulpo starts to speak to Giorno. He offers him some wine as he's getting up off the ground, and Giorno's kind of just standing there a little baffled at how big this guy actually is, wondering how the hell he got through the door. And honestly, I wondered the same shit, because keeping it real with you guys, Pulpo is actually like really fucking big. Like this guy's huge. That's a big guy, big fella right there. And while Giorno's over here pondering why this guy is so damn big, Pulpo actually starts biting his fingers, and it makes Giorno freak out for a moment before Pulpo asks him what's the most important thing when choosing someone. And think of this entire encounter as pretty much just one giant interview between Pulpo and Giorno, because that's essentially what it is. And since it's an interview, Pulpo asks Giorno what the hell he's capable of, and Giorno decides to drop all of the money and the IDs of the guards in the prison that he stole while entering, which is pretty impressive considering that he wasn't supposed to take anything inside of the room to go see Pulpo, and he wasn't supposed to have anything while leaving out. So he can't take anything from Pulpo, and he couldn't bring anything to Pulpo. But regardless of all that, of course he's gonna leave with something from Pulpo, because Pulpo has to give him the test to join Passion. So Pulpo gives him a lighter and tells him that he has to make sure that the flame does not go out for 24 hours. And if he can successfully pull this off somehow, then he gets to join Passion, which honestly, how the hell are you supposed to keep a flame from a lighter from going extinguished within 24 hours is actually not possible, but it's JoJo, so you know, we gotta make shit crazy. And of course, Giorno takes the lighter, and then he remembers, oh shit, I have to leave, and I'm not supposed to leave with anything on me. So Giorno starts to get his body searched, and when he's asked to open his hand that he was holding the lighter in, he actually ended up turning the lighter into a flower so that he could just hide that shit. And because it's just a flower, the guards decide to not question anything and say, oh, it's just a flower, go ahead and leave. And so he leaves the prison. So now Giorno's just got this lighter and he's walking back to his room, and when he gets to his room, he's looking around for places to leave the lighter because he almost ends up extinguishing the flame a couple times on the way there. So Giorno sticks the lighter in a loaf of bread and puts it behind some books on his desk to keep it from any wind and anything else that might potentially extinguish the flame. Giorno is really out here trying to get this bread, fellas. We gotta be more like him. But then Giorno decides to get up and check his window and his door to make sure that everything is shut, and what do you know, Koichi decides to just barge into his room out of nowhere. Giorno's freaking out because some random little Japanese guy just walks into his room, and he's like, wait, what the hell is this guy doing here? And Koichi was actually looking for his luggage, so Koichi starts digging through Giorno's room. And it just so happens that Giorno left Koichi's passport nearby the loaf of bread with the lighter in it. So Giorno's still freaking out, and then he decides to use gold experience to transform the light cord from his lamp into a snake to grab the piece of bread. But the snake drops the loaf of bread, and Koichi ends up picking it up. And immediately right after that, before Koichi can pay attention to the loaf of bread with the lighter in it, he actually finds his passport, and then he takes his passport. And while Koichi's taking his passport, Giorno decides to just take the lighter and run away. So Giorno exits from his room, goes down a flight of stairs, goes outside, and what do you know, the janitor ends up splashing water all over Giorno. And by all over Giorno, I mean just his hands, because that's all that matters, because he was holding the lighter in it, and the flame just gets extinguished. Now Giorno's freaking out because, well, he failed the test, and he's sitting here wondering if Pulpo will let him take it again, but if Pulpo was that merciful, he wouldn't make him take a test in the first place. So now Giorno's screwed, and the old man decides to sit down and help Giorno with the lighter, but he doesn't really need help reigniting anything, since that whole point of the test is to not light the flame again, and is to make sure that it doesn't go out once. And suddenly, the highlight of the episode, Black Sabbath, Pulpo's stand appears, and holy fuck, it looks cool. This has been one of my favorite stand designs in the series for a really long time, and I was extremely excited to see it animated, and I was expecting to see it either this episode or next episode, but when I started the episode, I realized they were actually going to show it in this episode because it's just the way that the pacing of the anime is. And so Black Sabbath attacks the old man, since the old man was the one that put out the lighter, and he's like, hey, you put out the flame, didn't you? And then Black Sabbath has a stand arrow come out of his mouth, and it stabs the old man, and he's like, well, if you're chosen, then you'll be fine, and if you're not chosen, then you die. And obviously, this old janitor guy isn't just gonna randomly become a stand user because he's just some janitor guy, so he dies. And now Giorno's standing here like shit, and he catches the dead man's body as it's falling down the stairs, and he's all upset that the old guy just got killed because of him. And Giorno's wondering what the hell this whole chosen thing is about, questioning if it's about joining the gang or what the hell it is, since he doesn't know that this is actually just a stand arrow. And then Black Sabbath looks at Giorno and it's like, oh, did you get rid of the flame? And then it decides it's gonna attack Giorno next, because that's what it does. And then the episode finishes. And next episode is going to be really good because we're actually going to meet the rest of the cast members finally, like within the episodes and stuff, and not just like seeing them from previews and anything like that. And we get the conclusion to the Black Sabbath fight, which is a short fight, but it's a pretty cool introductory battle considering how dope the stand is and the concept of Black Sabbath. So did you guys enjoy this episode of Vento Aureo? I thought it was really good. I felt like the conversation between Giorno and Popo lasted long enough. It felt like an actual 15-minute conversation, even though it was way less than that. It was probably around like 9 minutes or something like that. Like pretty much the first half of the episode is Giorno inside of the prison, and the second half is him doing everything else. I thought it was a great episode. I was really excited to see Black Sabbath. I'm super excited for next week's episode. We're finally going to see Mista and Narancia and Baccio and Fugo, and it's going to be a great time. If you guys want, you can follow me on Twitter at FreyKugel to talk more about Vento Aureo and what else you're excited to see in the part. I'm just super excited every single week now. We have something to look forward to on Fridays that isn't One Piece chapters. You can also join the Discord, link is in the description as well if you want to just talk about whatever in there. Honestly, like, I don't mind what it is that you guys want to talk about. It doesn't have to just be JoJo. It's like talking about video games and manga and shit like that. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'm actually working on a big video, which has been taking up quite some time because I've been going back and forth between changing parts of the script and adding things to it and taking away other things that I felt dragged on too much, etc, etc. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good Friday, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.